we'll just get right into it. We have a couple people signed, but just not ready yet, but we'll keep an eye out for them as the session continues. Stocks 101, Stocks Explained to the Beginner, episode 19, Grow 500 into 5,000. Brian Reich, MakeStocks.fun is my web address. If you want a copy of today's seminar, feel free to go on MakeStocksFun.com. We update our blogs weekly, so you can check it out there in case you miss anything or want to reflect on anything said here today. My name is Brian Reich. I'm a successful stock investor. My goal is to be a stock millionaire. In these sessions, I want to pass on my wins and losses so you can enjoy the success I have had today. In last week's interesting episode, we discussed cryptocurrency. Dubai is becoming one of the first cities to be run by blockchain technology. Blockchain is huge and revolutionary because of immutability. Once a record is added to the blockchain, it is extremely challenging to change or delete. This immutability is particularly valuable for applications requiring a permanent and tamper-proof record, such as supply chain management or legal contracts. So you can imagine all the different fields that this could come into play and what it could impact in the different fields of interest. Today's episode 19 quote, "Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing." Warren Buffett. Funny quote, "Money can't buy happiness, but it can buy a yacht big enough to pull up right alongside it." David Lee Roth. This is my favorite episode to run out of all of them, and something that is always on my mind. How to get my money to grow. Too bad there isn't a money-growing tree or a bird to help me. Maybe an angel. I always think, Brian, let's take a look at Finbit and see what opportunities are out there to get my money to double. What is Finbit? Does anybody know?
Yeah, it's the stock website you showed us.
Stock screener, right?
Sure. Yeah, sorry.
It has a ton of features that you pay for.
I'm sorry?
I mean, it has a lot of really cool features that you pay for them, but there's a lot of free features too where you can go and look at market sectors, and I think it's really cool to actually look at the maps of like the baskets and everything.
Absolutely.
It's kind of nice for it.
Yeah, it's so incredible. I can't even imagine what the paid version would be like, other than not getting blitzed with a bunch of ads.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how it would compare to TradingView, but if you try to like look at charts on different time frames or different indicators and stuff, then it's like you just stop right there. So it's like TradingView at least gives you like a few indicators before it asks for money, but then it's like right off the bat.
Right.
Yeah, so it's not so great for the trading, but yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of useful features like screeners and stuff. It seems really cool. Like you can actually go through and just how you apply filters. So now you've done that, but you can like filter out so that you can screen for stocks.
Absolutely.
Based on, different parameters. Really cool.
By the way, everyone can see my screen, correct?
Correct.
Okay, great. Okay, so how much is this incredible tool? Yeah, it's absolutely free. You just have to put up with ads. That's the only thing there. But yeah, it's an incredible tool, and I just use it for the stock screener, and I find it absolutely amazing. That's right. It just takes time, skill, and patience to acquire your dreams. In my upcoming book, Four-Step Stock Solution, I go over these steps with a workbook so you can focus on learning with purpose versus just aimlessly going through the motions. After all, there is practice and then practice perfect. Quite a difference indeed. Does everyone understand this difference? Or did anybody hear like practice perfect terminology?
There's practice makes perfect, but if you practice the wrong way, it doesn't matter how much you practice because you're never going to reach perfection.
Absolutely.
So you can practice doing the wrong things.
You can actually go on reverse, yes. And not only is it damaging to your psychology, it hurts your confidence as well. So yeah, practice perfect. You may pay attention to details, seek feedback, and constantly refine your technique. It often involves setting specific goals, analyzing your performance, and making continuous adjustments to achieve excellence. also following a guide that has done what you want to achieve helps, understand? And I, prefer the latter. Since you're a part of this episode right here, right now, we go over the exact steps that I take to find out which gems are out there that might get me to double my money faster. Tomorrow sounds a lot better than years from now, right? Can everyone hear me? Okay. Yeah. And the first step is to set up your right frame of mind. A goal sheet set up in Excel or Google Spreads, whatever you like to use is fine. In this scenario, we take 500 and find out the precise percentage to get to 5,000. How do we start to calculate this? And I actually use a website. Mini tools, mini web tool. You can just type in the numbers here. 500, we want to go to 5,000. %. So first of all, we know that 900% is where we're going. Ways to get there. Blink twice and get out your favorite crystal ball, right? But 500 has to double to 1,000, double to 2,000, double to 4, and then 25%, easy peasy. So I know you're thinking, yeah, right, what about losses, setbacks, etc.? And no problem, I'm way ahead of you. Let's get smart about how we do this. I never said, I could grow 500, 5,000 overnight, or even within a year. However, I have done amazing things with patience. When you set up a log and get your mind to focus on a goal and the path to get there, then you have a better chance of achieving it, right? Did you know growing 500 to 5,000 is more complex than my current goal of having over $1 million in the stock market? But anyway, I digress. But for the sake of this powerful video, let's show you how to do it. The first step is to chunk this big goal into micro steps. We have to design a way to get there. We'll never reach our destination. We will use 20% gain. If we are, after all, 20%, then the company we select should historically beat the market by at least 12% a year. The market on average returns 8%. Are we on the same page so far?
Yep.
Great. Believe it or not, lots of companies beat the market by this percentage. I have a book coming out called Elite 100. It's 100 companies that beat the market by a significant amount, and each year there's a variance of at least 20% year after year. So let's brainstorm a little bit and then think about some companies that you feel beat the market on a yearly basis. Did you say Facebook? Tesla?
Tesla,
Okay.
NVIDIA,
NVIDIA,
AMD,
AMD,
ERKB,
I'm sorry, what was the company name?
Berkshire Hathaway B.
Oh, yeah.
ERKB.
Yeah. That'd have been a great stock to pick up in the 70s, right?
Yeah. The A, Berkshire Hathaway A is worth like $200,000 a share or something, like mind-boggling.
Right. Does anybody know why that is? Why that share stock is worth $225,000 a share?
I don't.
Yeah, Buffett. Yeah, the reason why Buffett is more than just a stock investor, he's a company owner. He goes out and actually owns companies. He has quite the portfolio. He has an insurance company, furniture company, and others, just to name a few. But I mean, that's the reason why the stock is, and he's a multi-billionaire and continues to gain wealth 20 to 30% a year. Because not only does he own stock, he actually owns the companies that continue to increase in book revenue. So now we'll just look at how we get this set up. So what I've done here is, I went over what companies I feel are pretty solid, Apple and Home Depot. And I jotted them down here. I brought up the previous 3 years, so basically 21 and 22. Apple was between $116 and $180. 22 to 23, 130 to 171. And this year, the low was 127 and now $197. So there was a 55% difference a few years ago, and then 30% last year, and now this year, 55%. So that gives you some idea that, you know, the 20% goal is achievable. And if we play it out, we can do like, you know, 500, and let's just pretend, you know, we have $500 increments that we have over time, and we grow at 20%. You'd start like at 1,200, and then by, you know, if you did it every year like that, you just send up to $5,000 in 2032. And how I do it, you know, I set it up where, you know, I follow the company, you know, what I need from the company year in, year out. That way I can keep track of it and see where we're at. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so I just go out with it. Obviously, I think, you know, Apple, when it reached $903, they'll probably do like stock splits when it gets to 300. So in essence, yeah, this is probably very realistic. And I also check, and one of my, you know, FinViz is an excellent tool, and then the other one I'm in love with is Big Charts. And this allows me, you know, it gives me insight in what the company can do by just kind of checking like previous results. No mistake. So you can see over the last 10 years, Apple has dominated the market and easily, you know, given us a 20% variance. So in that term, you know, the 500 to 5,000 seems very obtainable, right? Correct?
Yes.
And, by the way, you know, this is the work I do. I help people achieve their dreams. If you haven't subscribed to their website, Make Stocks Fun, now is the time. You know, I definitely recommend it because, you know, I build an Excel spreadsheet. I ask what your goals are, and then, you know, we're building a community to help each other out so we stay on track. You know, it's easy, like Adam was saying, about when there's bad media hype, which there always is, to have a group of people to have a solid foundation, not only in a few months, but going out years and maybe even decades. I don't know about you guys, but, you know, I plan on being a stock investor to the day I die, and I'd even like kind of to take the role like Buffett has and actually own some of these companies as well. You know, I dive deep into numbers, and as I see like free cash flow and things like that, I get very excited. And then, not to mention too, we have a newsletter starting in October filled with insights, pioneer companies that you want to know about, dividend busters, low P stouts, and quality companies at a severe discount. And then I went over the yearly progression there. You know, and then we also, you know, dollar cost average. So when a stock drops, you know, we can add money in. Then we can achieve our goal a little faster. And by the way, for our subscribers, you know, I set up that spreadsheet, so I was just letting you know about that, and to set your agenda with our worm-loving community. This is one scenario. You know, there's lots of ways, methods to hit the number faster. Obviously, like we discussed, you know, hit the DCA or using FinViz to get a quality company at a discount. Every 5 years, you have a market crash, you know, a serious correction. Back in 2020, the Dow literally went, you know, down to, it was at 30, flirting with 30,000, went to 18,000. It's almost in half And that's why, I was able to pick up Tesla and other companies at very rock bottom, low prices. So we discussed FinVids and big charts. Both I feel are necessary for tackling big dreams. And when we dream, we like to dream big, right?
Right.
And this week was, the market was in line with this episode because as, Adam and I were discussing that, the market dropped, the Dow was at 350, now it's at 330, so the stars align. So if we go into FinVids a little bit here, what I really love to do is descriptive, under technical, you have technical and descriptive. Under descriptive, price I like to be over $20. And in the technical side, I like 30% or more below the high. So essentially, you're getting companies that are at a 30% discount. And then I like to arrange them by industry. And then from here, they give you, and like I said, the market was down. So you get a little more than usual. There's 461 companies, and if this continues, the market continues to crash, you'll get more of a discount and more companies will join this list. Does that make sense?
What is the best way to narrow even more?
Yeah, so basically you can use, what I like to use, like if there is a big list like this, I'll go to fundamental and I'll go like free cash flow, and I like to use this one, and I go like start with maybe over 15. And I'll shrink your list down to 100. You can also use, if you're like me, you like dividends. So you can select dividends. Under descriptive, there's dividend yield. And I like to be just a little over 2%, usually 1 to 3 is ideal for that. And then now you have 25 companies that you can look at. And then what I'll do is I'll literally look at like 50 to 100 companies a day, and I'll take these companies and I'll put them inside of the macro trends, and I'll look up at the earnings and see like if the earnings per share go up year after year. So that like IIPR was on the list, so I'll type that in this database, and then I'll see where they're at, and I'll keep track of it. So basically, 2017, they weren't profitable yet, and then now they're at 557. But what I like is you can tell it incrementally has gone up. So there hasn't been a setback yet, year after year. And very few companies are like that. And as you research more companies, you'll get better looking at the quality companies that you're looking at. Does that make sense? Awesome. So yeah, basically that's how you do it. That's how you can get from $500 to $5,000. It's, like I said, not an overnight process. It does take time. It does take homework. And, like I said, I do the homework every day because I see the rewards at the end of the time frame, 5, 10 years, what have you. So I hope this episode was very insightful to you guys.
Yep, it was.
Great. Yeah, I really appreciate that. And any feedback you give me, it always helps, always inspires me to put out more content. And I really encourage you to follow along with the website, because I'm on Instagram with daily things that I find and suggestions that I come up with. But I want to wish you all a great weekend. Thanks for joining.
You too.
Goodbye for now.
Bye.